Hello there, everybody. I am going to show you how to make the linkage arm for Project Lead the Way's train car project. The first part that we're going to start off with here is the linkage arm. This is going to be our final result here. So let me go ahead and open up a new part file and we'll get ready to start. So as you're looking at the drawing file here, there's a couple things you want to note. We have 4 circles that are connected by 2 straight lines. So we have a larger circle and a smaller circle. They are concentric, which means they share the same center. And we know this because of the center marks and the center lines that are aligning all of those. We also notice that the center of this part also shares the same center line of the circles. So that'll be important as we're dimensioning this 0.25 inch dimension. The first thing I want to start off with is making these circles. So I need to look for the dimensions. This first one, the larger circle, you see the leader line is pointing to the larger circle, has a radius of 0.1875 inches, which is typical. This means that this dimension can be assumed for both this circle and the other one over here that just looks just like it. And my smaller circle here has a diameter of 0.128 inches. It goes all the way through the part, and it's also typical, which means it can be assumed for the other piece. Now, when you're making circles in Inventor, it's going to ask you for the diameter dimension. So that means that with this radius, we have to make sure we multiply that by 2. You don't need your calculator to do that. You can just go ahead and type in the equation in Inventor. So let's go ahead and get started there. So I'm going to start a new 2D sketch on my XY plane. It does not matter where you begin this sketch, but I'm going to go to my circle and say 0.1875 is my radius times 2. I have another circle inside of it that is 0.128, I believe. Let me double check that. Yep, 0.128 inches. And then I'm going to go over here and do the same thing, 0.375, and then 0.128. Now, based on my drawing, I know that these circles are 3.5 inches apart. So I'm going to go back to Inventor, go to Dimension, click on the center of this circle and the center of this circle, and say that those are 3.5 inches apart. And now that those are evenly spaced out, what I can do is go up here to my Line tool, and I'm just going to simply connect these 2 circles. Now notice I'm not dimensioning anything right now. We'll get to that in a second. But one of the other dimensions I need to figure out is this 0.25. So since my circles share the same center line as the entire part, I know that the distance from the top of the part to the center is going to be 0.25 divided by 2. It's divided in half. So from the top of my part to the center, it's going to be 0.125 inches. And from my bottom of the part to the center, that's also going to be 0.125 inches. So let's go back to Inventor. If you want to make a construction line that goes through the center of the part, just something easier to dimension to, you are more than welcome to do that. I'll say dimension, top of my part to my center line, it's going to be 0.125 inches. Center line to the bottom of my part, you can also do 0.25 inches divided by 2. Enter. And now all I have to do is go to my trim tool, trim out some of these lines that we don't need. Don't worry about trimming your construction line. You're not going to see anything. And now let's finish my sketch. And all we have to do is add thickness. So the thickness of this part is 0.125 inches. Notice that the arrows are pointing to the thickness of that part. So I'll go to extrude, click on my profile, type in 0.125 inches, press OK. Feel free to check the volume to make sure that you are correct. So we're going to go to File, Eye Properties, go over here to Physical, and say Update. And your volume is going to be 0.123 cubic inches. As long as you have that, that means that your part is done correctly. Thank you for watching.